Hello, this is Keith All and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about an Excel 365 formula called VSTACK. And basically what it's going to do is once we build this together, you're going to stack sets of data on top of each other so you make one big data set or an array. So basically my data consists of what's on these three tabs, which is basically sales data, and they're all of the same size and with the same headers. So I'm going to first build it, and then at the end I'll show you a neat little trick. So I'm going to type in equal VStack. And again, it stands for vertically stacking arrays or data into one big array. So now we're going to select our ranges. And I'll explain everything as we go ahead, and I'll explain it after we build it, and you'll see what's happening. So the array I'm going to select is I'm going to select everything from the January tab, February tab, and March tab all at once. So I'm going to select January tab. I'm going to go ahead and shift click on the last tab or last sets of data that you want, and it selects all of them. And then what you're going to do is you're not going to select the header, you're going to select the data range itself on just one of the tabs. And then you close it out and press enter. And as you can see, what it did was it pulled all the January data, all the February, and all the March all together. Now let's go back and I'll show you what all this means in the VStack formula here. Don't worry about the first part because that's the extra trick I want to show you. But basically up here in the formula bar, what it's doing, the first part of it is a 3D cell range reference. Now what does that mean? That means that we're combining several elements that specifies a range of cells across multiple worksheets. So I'm selecting all the tabs that I want all at once, and then what we're going to be doing is we're going to select a range on one of those tabs across multiple worksheets, and that's what this is doing. So the second part of this formula basically, the first part, January, March, and then it refers to the range of worksheets. So it's just like when you're summing up a range, you're starting from a starting range and then going all the way to the ending of the range. And with that colon in the middle, you're selecting everything between the January tab and the March tab. The exclamation point now acts as a separator between the sheet names and this actual cell range. So that's what that is. And the cell range, the last part of this formula, is you're selecting the cell range. So what are we selecting in common with all these tabs? We're selecting the range from A2 all the way down to C12. So that's what's common between all the tabs. So you're selecting the same range on all these sheets. So basically what you're doing is you're selecting all the sheets, and you're selecting the same range on each and every one of those sheets. And what it's doing is it's first going to retrieve the January information, and then once it gets to the February, it stacks it right below the January, and the March is going to be stacked right below the February data. So that's how that works. Now I'm going to show you a quick trick that we could use with VSTACK, and it's called array constants. Now I'll give you a short demonstration. Now the first part is VSTACK. Again, what you're feeding it is an array of data. So an array constants, you're surrounding it with curly brackets, okay? And in between the curly brackets, you are creating an array. So in this case, I'm gonna type in static information, date, comma, and then sales. Let's get the comma. And then press enter. So what it did was it brought, I created an array. I created a static array, and they're called array constants. And all it's doing is feeding these three elements into the VSTACK as the array, and it lays it out for you. The commas in between the array constants between each element means that you're going to spill the results horizontally. If you wanted to spill the results of this array vertically, then you would put semicolons. And it spills it vertically for you. But let's rebuild this formula here. So because what I did was I just retrieved all the data. I didn't retrieve the header. So I'm going to build my own header with using this array constants here. So I'm going to go back here, because VSTACK means that you could select multiple arrays, and what they do is just stack the arrays on top of each other. So I'm going to build out this first array using array constants. And I'm going to put in date as my first column header, comma. My second column header is going to be name, comma. And my third column header is going to be for sales. And with quotation marks. And then you want to put a comma. And then press enter. And see what it does. It builds the first array in this formula is going to be, excuse me, it's going to be the headers. Then the second array is going to be all the data. So hopefully that small little trick gave you some ideas on how you can build your spreadsheets and do your data analysis in Excel. Remember, if you like the video, remember to give it a thumbs up and like and share it. And I thank you for your time for looking at this video today, and hopefully you learned something new. Again, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye now.